Buzz is proudly presented by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. So let's have a look around Rocky Mount and see what's going on.
Good morning. My name is Jim Gray. I have the privilege of being the chairman of the board this year. Of course, Chris Miller and others put this thing in play, and I just happened to be here at the right time. So others get a lot more credit than the current administration, let me tell you. We want to welcome the board. We want to welcome all the people who donated to this project, from the Body family and the company to the people who are working in this hard dirt out here, taking some of these roots out. It is a significant day for United Way. This really signifies a transformation. It's not just a day where we celebrate bricks and steel and cement and a place to have an office, but it signifies a transition, a transformation of United Way. I was thinking this morning that really we have, if you look at where United Way has been and where it is now, both on Sunset Avenue. For years we've been down Sunset Avenue downtown, wonderful location, but pretty low profile. To Sunset Avenue here in a very high profile location. We will have an electronic sign outside, and we will be communicating every day to thousands of people about what United Way is like. So it's really, I think, a transformation from sunset to sunrise.
This plaque says, in honor and recognition of Bobby Knoll Enterprises for the donation of this building to United Way Tar River Region to serve and assist the citizens of Nash and Edgecombe counties. Originally the headquarters of Bobby Knoll Enterprises, built in 1965 by Carlton Knoll and his nephews Nick and Mayo Body. This building will become a permanent home for the United Way Tar River region and serve as a constant reminder for Bobby Knoll Enterprises' generosity and its support to the United Way's ongoing commitment to Rocky Mount and the Twin County.
Welcome back, and thank you again for joining us this evening for the latest edition of the Rocky Mount Area Chamber of Commerce Buzz. Bobby, tell us about the Economic Summit.
Well, this year our Economic Summit will be on April the 30th. Our host sponsor is the Imperial Center for the Arts and Sciences. So, and we've been there before, so we look forward to the wonderful facility there, and the theater and the big stage and the seating that they have there. I think it's a great venue for our event there. This year will be a little bit different. Typically in the past we might have had 12 to 15 presenters on the program format, and we have scaled that back a little bit. This year we've shortened the time frame that it keeps our businesses out of their work. It will begin with a breakfast at 7:45 in the morning, and that'll last about 45 minutes, and then people will move into the theater for the program portion of the event. We will have 4 presenters overall, and they'll each have an extended time slot that they'll be able to share with us their presentations, which will focus on future potential economic impact for our region. You know, a lot of times in the past we've sat there and heard presentations on what we all know has been going on, what's been done.
Almost a recap.
Almost a recap. And so this, we took a different tack this year and want to look forward to what type of potential impact we can make happen for this area. And there's a lot of good things that I think this will share with our community, our businesses, and I think it'll be a great format, and it will be done by 9:45.
Oh, that's a big change from years past.
It is a big
we
change.
Get out of there 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right. So we hope that is appreciated, certainly so.
Oh, it will be.
And still give a great update on things that are going to create the impact for us around here.
Well, Bobby, I think that change is probably a very healthy thing. For so many years we've done this a little bit differently, and it has been a lot longer.
Well, one of the particular pieces is about 3 weeks ago, I think, maybe 4 now, the mayor gave his State of the City address. And typically we would have the mayor on, and it would be a repeat of that information, so a lot of people had heard that.
Right.
Just as a different format, and I think a forward-looking opportunity for what will bring some change to our community and some potential impact for us.
I don't think there's any question about that. It's always nice to do a recap, but I think most of the people that attend the economic forum on an annual basis, they're pretty aware of what's happened. What we want to know is what's going to happen. We want to be able to look in that crystal ball and maybe clear it up a little bit.
Well, it's amazing. Most people don't realize that to bring a major company here, you might work on that 4 or 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't talk about those things sometimes because of the confidentiality agreements with them. But just about every project that goes on that you see come to fruition today has had a number of years of behind-the-scenes hard work to make that happen. One of our presentations at the event will be Dr. Lamb, Dr. Deborah Lamb with Edgecombe Community College. She's the president there, and I can remember probably about 5 years ago at our State of the Community update, which was what it was called then, she talked about everybody getting behind an effort to lobby for an allied health facility on the downtown Edgecombe Community College campus. It was she had an artist rendering, a nice big building, and everybody's going, my gosh, where will that go? Well, this year, thanks to the sales tax increase in Edgecombe County, that is going to happen. And so they're moving forward rather rapidly to begin the process, I guess, of that project.
She was on our show a couple of weeks ago, and Dr. Lamb just is a special person. She does a lot, and we're so fortunate in the Twin County areas with Bill Carver at Nash Community College and Deborah Lamb and Edgecombe Community College to have 2 great institutions, 2 great leaders. And she shared with us the hopeful groundbreaking late this year or early next year, had the latest artist rendition of the facility, which is going to be a showplace.
Well, just think of the people that's going to bring downtown.
Going to change the dynamics of the downtown area instantly.
It's my understanding it will serve a 5-county region for nurse education.
Right.
So I think that just has huge future potential for the downtown area, which has really made some great strides over the past year or so.
It has, and this will give reason for others to invest in the downtown with
That's right.
restaurants and coffee shops and small
That's
retail.
what makes it happen.
That's right.
That's exactly what makes it happen.
You've got to have people down there. So I know the city is just tickled to death, and of course, it's a tremendous asset to our Twin County region. But
most definitely. Another area that we're going to take a look at is the new pediatric center that is just made tremendous progress.
Oh gosh, it's just daily you see changes
You
in
do.
that facility as it goes up.
I understand we are 1 in 8 in the state for pediatric centers, so that's huge for our area, and that will bring a number of families regionally to our area as well. So what other opportunities might spring up around that in support of that? So that has some future growth potential for our region as well. I think they've done a remarkable job out there, and we look forward to showcasing what they have achieved and what that'll mean for us.
Quickly before we break, what are the other 2?
The other one, one of the other ones is John Gesseman, Caroline's Gateway Partnership, and some insight into what they've been working on.
John's always interesting and
always got something going on, and we hope he does.
Thankfully
right.
he does anyway.
And then our keynote speaker, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, is Whit Tuttle. He is the director of North Carolina Tourism, specifically for the film and sports industry. So people might say, well, what does that have to do with our area?
A lot.
Well, we look forward to sharing a little
Sports.
bit about that in just a minute.
We will, and when we come back, we'll be joined by David Joyner, who will take us through the second segment, as well as a little bit more detail on the upcoming economic summit and how that fits nicely with sports in Rocky Mount. So stay tuned.
The USA South Conference will be arriving in Rocky Mount with over 850 athletes and coaches April 11th through the 14th. These student athletes from 13 colleges will be playing
men's baseball,
women's softball,
men's tennis,
women's tennis,
men's golf,
women's lacrosse.
Check the game schedules and show your support for the student athletes. Be a good sport.
Come to the games.
Thank you for joining us again, and David Joyner, as promised, has joined us in the second half of our segment. And Bobby, I don't know how you handle two Davids, David and David.
David and David.
Your lucky day, right, David?
That's right, my lucky day.
Well, maybe our lucky day. Maybe our lucky day.
Thank you, thank you.
David, we're glad to have you, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule this evening. And Bobby, why don't you kind of take us into the next segment?
Our keynote speaker for the Economic Summit, which is scheduled for April 30th at the Imperial Center, will be Whit Tuttle. Whit is the director of North Carolina Tourism Marketing specifically for the film and sports industry in North Carolina. And I think it's a great tie-in for our event, looking forward to future potential impact on our region. And I know, David, that you've recently heard him speak.
I have.
So share a little bit about his forte and what he focuses on, and how that might help share with our citizens here, and what kind of future impact that could potentially have partnering with us in this region.
Well, I just got back from the Governor's Conference on Tourism, and it was I went last year, and it was held in Concord. This year it was held in Wilmington. And so basically travel and tourism professionals from across the state and out of state, vendors and media professionals travel to this event, and it's probably one of the best conferences, that I go to, and I don't say that lightly. I hate going to conferences usually. I joke about it at work because usually it's just they're boring, but this, for what we pay for it, it's just well worth our dollar. And what they do is, they just give you information on where the state's at and the economic impact that it's had. And Whit, because he's the marketing director for the Division of Tourism, he obviously heads up the majority of this event. But I met him last year, but he has done a brilliant job. And out of the Commerce Department, the Division of Tourism, they just do a really fantastic job on giving us the data, the numbers. North Carolina is ranked 6th again in the nation, for tourism.
That's great.
Behind, That's wonderful.
Where South Carolina and Virginia outspends us in advertising dollars, we still were able to maneuver ourselves 6th in the nation behind states like New York and California. So what Whit's doing is really exciting to have him come, because he'll really be able to explain to us how communities like ours especially can partner with the Division of Tourism and other professionals and really maximize on the benefit of the sports business and the film industry and things of that nature.
We will have just finished the USA Sports South Tournament,
which we're really excited about.
Which will bring a lot of economic support to all the hotel groups and our restaurants in the community. Some 800 people probably coming in.
More than that.
Yeah.
Probably so.
With families and fans from the different schools and alumni, they'll find. I would venture to bet that 800 is way off the mark.
Yeah.
How about that? Well, that would be great. I know we look for seasonal opportunities like that to bring the tourism impact to our area, and perhaps Whit can share with us some future economic potential, and maybe it helps put us on the map.
No, I agree, and it does. At the conference, I was proud to tell everybody, we got the USA South Conference, and people were smiling and shocked. And Whit will really be able to explain and educate, the community really on the economic impact of tourism and how areas like ours already are doing well with our sports complex and things of that nature, and how we can do more to partner and draw more of that money and that business in our area, because it's become huge. We're not the only community. There's a lot of communities now that are very competitively going after that business. They see the economic impact of it, and where if they're rebuilding where they lost manufacturing and things that they're making up for it right now with this, and just our location, we can't beat it. You know, that's what we have that they don't have. You know, they wish they had that location, but it'd be to be the halfway point between New York and Florida and sit right off of 95. You know, we're in a prime opportunity for us to grow and really, you know, grow more with tourism as itself.
Mr. Tuttle's resume is quite impressive. I believe his entire career has been at several different places, but they've all been marketing to destination. So having someone with that expertise helping partner with you to identify ways to help get people here as a destination, not just stopping halfway between New York and Florida to come in off the highway.
Let's talk about sports. That seems to be such a huge draw here in Rocky Mount.
Yeah.
I go out to the athletic complex, ride my bike out there on weekends, or either I'm working out at the YMCA, and the place is mobbed.
It is.
Talk to us about how that affects our economy here.
The sports and amateur sports, especially, is what we, you know, we're targeting. It's been huge, you know, for Rocky Mount. And I say that as somebody, you know, who didn't play baseball, didn't know anything about it, you know, until I started in the hotel business. And this past year or so, I quickly was educated on it because it's been so huge in revenue dollars for us. And I work for some hotels as a, you know, private businesses. We wouldn't be working with it if it wasn't bringing us money. But the amount of sports business that we get in Rocky Mount has significantly affected us, the restaurants, the gas stations, the mall. We actually work now with over 16 different restaurants and established when they come to town, we all meet and do whatever we have to do to roll out the red carpet for these people who sell us out. You know, and they're not just, again, they're not just selling it. It's so many teams that they're selling out past Goldsboro all the way up into Raleigh. We still have some that are calling in for one weekend that we can't give them any space. If we could add on, we would. You know, but
what a great problem to have.
It's an excellent problem to have. And again, when these people come in, you average 12 players a team, plus their parents, you know, 2 parents per player. You know, this is a lot of money that they spend on hotel rooms, on food, on everything, on laundromats here in town, things I didn't even realize that they would have to spend money on.
Well, they got to launder the uniforms. They can't bring 3 and 4 sets of uniforms.
Exactly. And so it's become a huge draw for us, and constantly we keep adding more tournaments because of how they're treated in Rocky Mount. They like the location, they like the overall experience, but the numbers as far as just the, I think it was over $8 million in revenue that the sports complex brought in to Rocky Mount. You know, and that's just one piece of the tourism business for us. So I mean, it's a significant amount of business, and other communities, you know, so people understand, see what's going on in Rocky Mount. I was proud. When I was at the governor's conference, I had no idea. I was in one of the breakout sessions, and one of the county commissioners from another county stood up and said, you know, Rocky Mount has that sports complex. We need to build one because all of our money is going to Rocky Mount.
I tell them, no,
exactly.
It's not doing all that well.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm really excited about WIT coming, because what they're focused on now, and the majority of the conference was focused on communities our size as being the new tourism places, you know, the new, turning them into destinations and making North Carolina, you know, even bigger as it is, you know, with tourism. And so, you know, communities our size was the main focus of the conference, and they've geared a lot of their attention to strategically getting communities of our size to move in the direction of being able to draw more of that business our way.
You know, the old definition of tourism related to either water in front of you,
exactly,
as the beach or river or lake or the mountains.
Exactly.
And who would have ever thought that we would have been a destination for people? Yeah. So that is wonderful. Now all we have to do is figure out how we get a film made with Mr. Tuttle coming to the area, and well, you know, with a legend like Buck Leonard, maybe we could.
But you know what? And you're not off. You know, and that's the thing. I'm really excited about him coming because a lot of people, you know, think it's kind of inconceivable, but it's not. There was a lot of other smaller communities there, and they even showed the data from a movie that was made in some small town, smaller than ours, you know, that just did some movie that went straight to DVD, and it was over $40 million in revenue came into that town from all the production people that had to come in, all the things you don't think about, you know. So I think what, you know, the historical aspect of Rocky Mount, all the things that are going on, that's not inconceivable to me at all.
Well, you look at our role, well, not technically Rocky Mount's role, but Jim Thorpe, one of the greatest all-around athletes, and played for I think it was called then the Rocky Mount Railroaders or something. And then, of course, Buck Leonard, who is without question one of the all-time great professional baseball players. We've got a history with the Phil Fords, the Danny Talberts, the Buck Williams. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Yeah, we've got
we can make a movie.
History. Yeah,
we can make a movie.
You're right.
That's right.
And we do. We have a good history. We have a lot of people related to sports who are famous that came from this area. I mean, even the Herman Boone was from
absolutely.
That's right. Absolutely.
And they made a movie about him.
And they did. And Herman comes back, and when we opened rededicated the Booker T. He came in, and we had a wonderful black tie event, and the first movie shown in the Booker T since it was closed was Remember the Titans.
Wow. Yes.
So he was the keynote speaker, and it was just a marvelous event. So we do have a rich history of leadership.
And you're right. And the biggest thing is just, I want people to really understand, currently the numbers are there. This isn't us just, wishing and hoping. We're already making a lot of money, and having a lot of people come into our towns and tournaments being added to our town because of our success with the ones we have. We've really become with one of the sports tournaments directed with the group Top Gun, and they bring significant tournaments all year long. He called in on the radio and actually said, Rocky Mount had one of the finest facilities on the East Coast. That's why they choose to have their tournament here. The Triple Crown tournament in May, they're based out of Denver, Colorado, and they bring the tournament here.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, and that's huge, and then that's the one particularly that sold us out. Last year we're already sold out now with it. So we're doing well.
So, folks, you want to make plans to come to the 2013 Economic Summit at the Imperial Center on April 30. Tickets can be purchased from the Chamber at our website, www.rockymountchamber.org. They're $25, very affordable ticket, and we look forward to hosting this event for you. And we'd just like to share that David is also our premier sponsor for the event, the Gateway Hotel Complex.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
So we thank you for that, and we look forward
to
putting
it on.
Partnering together to make this a great day in our community.
Yes, ma'am.
And David and Bobby, thank y'all both for joining me this evening and taking time out of your schedule.
Our pleasure.
And David, we look forward to a lot more growth in that sports area and anything else you can bring in like this. But thank you for coming. Bobby, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank y'all for joining us.
The USA South Conference will be arriving in Rocky Mount with over 850 athletes and coaches April 11th through the 14th. These student athletes from 13 colleges will be playing
Men's baseball.
Women's softball.
Men's tennis.
Women's tennis.
Men's golf.
Women's lacrosse.
Check the game schedules and show your support for the student athletes. Be a good sport.
Come to the games.